All right, Projared came back from the ashes, a phoenix rising, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I've made about, two videos on the guy. One that I was still astonished, the fact that he was still on the downward trends. I'm proud to say that Jared is on the up and up. Ladies and gentlemen, this is an interesting tale. And being in the gaming sphere, I kind of wanted to toss it into it, just end off the trilogy. Now, when I first made the Pro Jared video, I'm still really proud of the fact that it was called Pro Jared Finally Prolapsed. That to me is probably my favorite title I've ever named a video. And I'm proud to say that I can use prolapse again in a title because he didn't exactly prolapse, ladies and gentlemen. Now, this video is interesting. Now, I've watched this 40+ minute video of Pro Jared basically defending himself, appropriately, mind you. He gave a lot of evidence and, he gave the receipts, quote unquote. I gotta say, the guy seems all right to me, in front of it, but I will say one thing for sure, ladies and gentlemen. This was always never a clear-cut situation. Now let's get down to business. Before anybody says that, there's a bullying or harassment situation, look, Jared, this is the internet, okay? If this was to happen to me, to anybody, if it was to happen to anybody in our situations or we were caught cheating on our significant others and sending dicks to everyone on the internet, if the internet woke up seeing my dick, that grand of a scale, I'd have problems too, and I couldn't complain or blame anybody else for making a video on it, just like you can't blame anybody for making a video on it too. The one thing Jared talked about was the idea of cancel culture, and I actually agree with Jared. There's no reason you should really go out and cancel somebody on a lot of things, but it's a lot harder said than done. Allow me to explain. I wouldn't be making this video if this had been like, some content creator that really didn't make any good content. But Pro Jared makes good content. Out of most of his videos, if you look at things like his Final Fantasy videos, Chrono Trigger, at least from an RPG perspective, the guy can make good videos. I'm not a huge fan of it. I don't actively watch it, but Pro Jared has made good content. It's kind of like watching a TV show that's really good, but it turns out the greatest actor in it is like, killing little puppies or like, doing something dastardly. That's when it gets a little tough to watch it. It's very hard to separate the creator and the problems that they have between the content. It's very difficult sometimes to do that. So it's really not that easy to go out of the cancel culture movement. It's unfortunately, once you've been stained with something bad, it'll carry with you. Now, moving on further, when I initially made my first video with the Yakuza Kiwami 2 gameplay, the reality of that video was I was actually just talking more so about Pro Jared's conduct. I think Pro Jared has had really shitty conduct with his internet presence. When you have a 18 plus section, which by the way, it was 18 plus, he definitely did mention the fact that it was meant for adult, content, consenting adults, but regardless, you shouldn't be sharing your donger on the internet, brother. You shouldn't be going dong force to people on the internet. It don't work that way. You can't snap photos of your dick and send it, okay? There are certain content creators that get away with that shit, Pro Jared. You can't be in there. When you're running a channel where you know that there's children watching, the last thing you should do is have that like 18 plus, let's send dicks to each other or penises, vajunes, whatever you want to call it, and body positivity, whatever the fuck you want to, sandwich it up as. You really can't do that. It doesn't work the way that you want it to. And moving further into it, that's one of the issues that I kind of had. The conduct was a problem. I think ultimately that was something that I felt uncomfortable, especially when you know there are people under the age of 18 there. And I get it. You can have a billion disclaimers, Jared, but it's going to be iffy when some kid lies about it and they end up getting your dicks or whatever. It's weird. It shouldn't be that way. All right. You shouldn't even enter that situation in the first place. It's kind of dumb in my opinion. Now, aside from that, the concept of him cheating on his wife was something that I find pretty bad. I don't like cheaters. I've been cheated on. I know what it's like. It's not good. Being cheated on is not good. Cheating is not a good thing to do. But should you cancel someone's fucking job over it? No, it's not the 60s, okay? That shouldn't be a thing. Cheating is a problem between two consenting adults. And his wife, who actually had talked about cheating initially, the infidelity or whatever that came out, that was something that obviously made Jared look bad. But the problem with what his wife did was she deliberately withheld information that it was some open relationship. And I've seen polygamous relationships. They can work. I don't understand it and get it myself, but that's just not for me. The point is, there really was a weird form of infidelity or something kicking in over here. Regardless to say, short term, Jared, Heidi, and Holly, all these three people in this like polygamous relationship were all fucking wrong. You know, they all wronged one another. But the reality is, should anyone lose their careers over wronging between... No, that was just literally wronging between that circle. That was all in them. Nobody else should have even been involved in that. So that wasn't really the concern. And Jared, the biggest problem with this is when he in the video said that nobody tried to contact him, that was wrong. People did try to contact Jared. You know, there had to be that element to it. There's no way reporters couldn't have done that. The reality is Jared did the smart thing, which is kind of lay low and quiet. He bided his time, he got everything sorted together, talked to legal teams, whatever. That was a smart thing Jared did. But there were some key issues on there. One of the key issues that I remember from that time was the allegations of him being a child molester, not a molester, but somebody sending illicit photos, illicit pornographic materials to people underage. So that's a pretty serious offense. I don't agree with that whatsoever. And anytime I read a comment on my video or any video where it's like, you know, Projared diddles kids or some shit like that, that's not a light accusation to be making. That's not even close to a light one. That's why in my videos I would never say that. I wouldn't go to it. Yeah, maybe I would mention the fact that it's being mentioned, but that's not an accusation you want to make. Because I wouldn't want that accusation made to me. It's a very heinous, life-ruining, legally, you know, fuck your ass level allegation you can do. You don't want to do that. And that's why, for me, when I read that about Jared, it was off. In the beginning, you got a bunch of these messages from people who were underage saying, yeah, Jared's texting me. The problem is a lot of these people ended up lying about it, lying to Jared about being of a certain age because they wanted their favorite YouTuber to send them a dick pic or something like that. It happens. That's why I said earlier in the video, you shouldn't even be doing that in the first place, knowing the fact that that is a potential thing that could happen. For better or for worse, ultimately you have some form of responsibility in doing that. And regardless of, you know, texting underage people, Jared was very clear about not doing that. And so when I looked at a lot of that evidence back in the day, I said that is a claim that you need to really investigate. And I think ultimately some of the people that really owe Jared an apology are the crew over at Normal Boots. They actually made it seem like they were doing some weird investigation and booted him off the site because of those weird allegations that kicked in. Look, ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't seem like he's done any of that. And I will definitely defend a man if they haven't done it, as long as the burden of proof is there. Until the moment where it comes out 100% proof that Jared would do something like that, which it hasn't, then I'll defend the guy. Because those are allegations that shouldn't be thrown around lightly. And honestly, I would say when it comes to the crew over Normal Boots, I would argue that Jared has some form of a legal claim over that, because they definitely booted him out and made him seem in the public eye that he did something dastardly illegal. Now look, I always said in the first video, and any time I mention on stream, I wouldn't mind Jared coming back. There's a definite, issue with losing Jared in the YouTube community. The guy is a veteran YouTuber. The guy has made content. The guy is here. He may not be the biggest YouTuber. He may not even be the smallest YouTuber, but he's a YouTuber that's been here pretty consistently. And to an extent, you gotta have respect for that. The guy's connections, the guy has been on this platform. And I think at the end of the day, that is a testament to and of itself. He's got a lot of loyal fans. You can see that evidently by the video that I've been watching today. The guy, I would say, deserves to come back to the internet. Now look, ladies and gentlemen, there's going to be a lot of people who dislike this video and his video and dislike the entire idea, but I'm one of the people that believes in giving second chances. Unless somebody has done something so heinously bad, like harm minors or harm people that cannot defend themselves, or has done something super terrible in the eyes of the public, or in just a general moral compass, I believe in second chances. Look, I don't care if Jared cheated on his wife or any of that kind of stuff. As long as he hasn't done something to directly hurt people that cannot defend themselves, I feel like the guy should be, brought back to the community. I don't think that people should vilify him for that reason in general. It's a very touchy subject. But the reality of it is, man, after watching this 40-minute video, there's going to be a lot of people who say that, Muda, you probably fell for some weird manipulation tactic. And the reality is, regardless, there's always going to be people who are going to be against Jared now. And as much as I want Jared to come back and upload a video like, hey guys, here's a Final Fantasy, RPG review or something of the sort, it's going to be hard to see Jared come back. Yeah, he might have an uptick in subscribers, but he's always going to be marred with this mark over his career. And that's unfortunately the situation that he's kind of locked himself into. Had he responded a little earlier and given these receipts a little quicker, I don't think it would be as bad. But it's been months where we didn't have Jared's face up until now. I'm glad that he's finally come out and defended himself. And unfortunately, it almost seems like a defense in the case that he wants to defend himself for the sole reason of literally defending himself and maybe not going with YouTube further. But looking further into it, ladies and gentlemen, Jared, look, we all goofed and gaffed on you, I understand. I will fully admit that I was kind of an asshole at points, but you gave me the perfect title for a video. That was for damn sure. I will say one thing, the allegations people made against you, the really serious ones, I hope not many people believed. I surely didn't believe him until I get 100% proof. But things like cheating on the wife, this, that, and whatever, whether you did it, whether you didn't, whether who's true and who's not, because at the end of the day, I even still can't trust these receipts whatsoever. You can do a lot with computers. Point I'm trying to make here is that I think Jared has ultimately given himself that level of redemption that I think I think he's earned it, is what I'm trying to say. And honestly, I'm all for positivity on the platform. I don't want somebody to get canceled because of a mistake that honestly, if the worst of it is just the basic infidelity, if the worst of it is just things that would only harm the triangle of people really involved in this, I think the guy deserves to come back. I really do. And I think him and his wife and Holly, I think they all deserve to kind of be back on the platform, do what they need to. That's really what it comes down to, ladies and gentlemen. As long as no one was harmed in the making of the production, aside from, these three guys and gals, I think we're all going to be good. Okay, that's really what it comes down to. It's a touchy subject, but that's really what it is, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, I'm glad I got to see it. Honestly, it's a pretty it's a pretty interesting time in today's YouTube. That being said, if you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Dislike it, dislike it. I am out.